All right, I am Edward Pevos for MLive.com. It's week 7 of fantasy football along with my co-host Nagsheen. And before we tell you where we're at, so let's get right into our quick pick of the week. I'm dying to tell you mine, but why don't you go first?
You know what? I'm going to actually let you go first today since I always go first, so we're going to switch it up today.
Wow, that's different. All right, my quick pick of the week, again, goes against everything that I believe in because I'm a big Lions fan, but you have to start Kirk Cousins this week. You saw what Case Keenum did against the Lions last week. He threw like 20,000 consecutive completions. Every quarterback has had well over 100 pass rating against the Lions this season. It's just unbelievable. I have to start Kirk. Plus, they're number 4 in passing in the league are the Redskins. So
you might have to change your jersey after that comment.
it's a must start. Well, Stafford is on fire as well. But what's yours? Quick pick.
All right, so my quick pick of the week is AJ Green against Cleveland. I love AJ Green. I just can't get enough of him. Playing Cleveland, you know what's been going on with Cleveland. Everyone that plays against Cleveland is just on fire.
All right, very good. Well, we are here at One-Eyed Betty's in Ferndale. This place is pretty cool. It's a great place to watch the game. This menu is has a lot of cool food on it, so you may want to check that out online. They have some pretty cool items and some good specials here as well. Krabby cakes. There you go. So that's all you need to say is Krabby cakes. That's all you need to know. Let's get into quarterbacks this week. Sit 'em, start 'em. Who are you starting this week?
So this week I am starting Andy Dalton.
Well, yeah, you have to if your quick pick is
AJ Green.
I have Andy Dalton right at the top. Look at that.
Yeah, see? Plain and simple, every team that has played against Cleveland has just torn them up.
And Cincinnati has a really good history against Cleveland too, big division rivals.
Yep. And then Kirk Cousins.
This is my number 2.
Like
what are you doing?
said.
What are you doing? Well, that was my pick
We're
of
on
the
track
week, though,
these
so.
days. Kirk Cousins, and I wonder why. Again, why I picked Kirk Cousins. Even you picked him. So anyways, Blake Bortles against Oakland. Oakland had Blake Bortles had a bad week last week. So
Yeah, he did. He hurt me a little bit.
I think he'll be back in action. It's been a while since I've heard Blake Bortles, like last year, Blake Bortles.
Oakland's defense can't stop anybody either. So
Yeah.
It's,
Sleeper, Joe Flacco against the Jets. I hope you guys all watched that Monday Night Football game because that was torture to my eyes. That was David Johnson. Did you see that?
David Johnson's great. He
Went
might be the
off.
only true number 1 superstar running back in this league right now.
Yeah,
but we'll get to
superstar.
running backs in a second. I believe in Alex Smith this week at home against New Orleans. That game should be a shootout, even though Drew Brees does nothing on the road most of the time. Derek Carr at Jacksonville, I think he'll have a good game. And of course, Matt Ryan as at home against San Diego puts up huge numbers at home as well. My sleeper, I'm getting on the bandwagon a little bit, just a little bit. If you're desperate, because Carolina and Dallas have a bye, if you're desperate, Colin Kaepernick is actually putting up some he might put up, if you're desperate. He's not going to be too bad against Tampa Bay.
I recall last week, though, we weren't really feeling him.
I would sit Carson Wentz against Minnesota, Brock Osweiler against Denver, Landry Jones against New England, and Carson Palmer against Seattle. I would sit those guys. Running backs, we got to address real quick the Green Bay situation first. This is miserable. You thought the Lions running back situation was miserable with all the injuries. Green Bay has nobody. They just traded for Niall Davis. Do you start Niall Davis? It's Thursday night. He's the only healthy running back on the team.
I would start him.
He doesn't know the offense, though. He knows nothing.
I mean,
it's like hand him the ball, just run. But that's not what you can. In football, you need time to learn the offense, at least a week and a half. You can't start anybody in Green Bay. You just can't. Nobody. They're going to have 4 people in the backfield. They're going to have Niall Davis. Ty Montgomery's a wide receiver. Don Jackson's going to be promoted off the practice squad. He actually might be the number 1 guy this week. Don Jackson, no snaps this season, might be the number 1 guy. And even Randall Cobb might get a few carries. So don't touch that. I wouldn't touch Green Bay.
My bad.
That's my Jay Ajayi of. I don't even know how to pronounce his name yet. But a few weeks ago I mentioned his name and to put him on your team, and you saw what happened last week. Over 200 yards rushing. I would start him. Arian Foster is still not fully healthy, and this guy looks like the real deal now. He's got a bad matchup against Buffalo, but I don't think you can sit him. You have to start Jay Ajayi if you have him, if that's how you pronounce his name. James White's been great. Melvin Gordon's got a good matchup. Matt Jones at Detroit. He's put up a couple good weeks in a row.
I don't know
and
why you even still
Detroit's
wear a Lions
linebacking
jersey.
core is terrible.
Why do you still wear a Lions jersey? You talk
I
so
love
much
the Lions.
smack.
I would
All right.
sit Isaiah Crowell against Cincinnati and Frank Gore at Tennessee.
So my running backs for the week, LeGarrette Blount against Pittsburgh.
He and James White are
At least 2 touchdowns.
both startable
At
for
least.
New England.
And then, of course, Ben Roethlisberger is really hurt, so I think it's going to hurt the team a little bit. Jamal Charles against the Saints because it is his 3rd week. He needs to explode. I think he's going to be
Well, they're
unleashed.
easing him. They're easing him back
I
in.
think this week he's going to explode. It's ease. Ease is enough. 3 weeks is enough for his ease, so I think he'll be good to go.
Well, you have to start him if you have him, and
Yeah.
he's going to gradually increase his production because he's going to get more snaps.
So Devonta Freeman, I'm not sure if you said him.
No,
Devonta
but I like him
Freeman
too.
against San Diego.
Yeah.
They're pretty weak against the run, and I'm gonna sit Matt Forte. I honestly
Yeah.
haven't even seen him in the last 2 weeks.
Bilal Powell,
is,
Bilal Powell got more snaps this week.
yeah. I didn't even see him. I thought he got hurt.
Paul, he looked even. He's probably the guy to play this week is Paul because he's had more snaps. He looked better than
Yeah.
Forte.
So my
running back
sitter-
situation in New York is
Yeah.
Jets is bad, and in the Giants. Don't touch the Giants. Don't touch
Mm-hmm.
the Jets. Nobody in New York. Don't touch any of those running backs.
But I do have to agree, Odell Beckham did come back and go nuts, and he's making love to that net these days, so I don't know, he's coming back. My sleeper for running backs, though, Doug Martin, if he doesn't play Jacquizz Rodgers, I think you should play him. He's a good player.
Yeah, they have a
Doug
decent
Martin doesn't
matchup,
play.
and yeah, they do. And it depends on who starts because they wanted to run the ball last game a lot. So if Martin is supposed to be back this week, so keep an eye on that injury, but we'll see. Wide receivers. Let me start with this.
No, I want to start with that.
Go,
I want to start wide receivers.
go, please.
Of course,
Now
AJ
you wanna
Green.
start.
I want to start. AJ Green.
AJ Green, we talked,
AJ
yeah.
Green. Mike Wallace. Because the Jets are terrible. And Mike Wallace.
Well, Revis might be on him, but Revis has not been looking that great
No,
this year.
nothing. Brandon Marshall should score a touchdown. He is so overdue. I mean,
Their whole team is overdue on the Jets. I wouldn't touch
I like
him.
Brandon Marshall. I'm gonna start him at least 1 touchdown. 1 touchdown. Sleeper, Deshaun Jackson against the Lions.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I actually have Deshaun Jackson as a sleeper right there. This might be a good week for Deshaun
So-
Jackson and anybody in Washington. All right, I have a couple.
I still have,
Oh, you have more?
I have a sitter.
Keep going. Oh, a sitter, yes.
Yeah, I honestly hate saying this because I love Larry Fitzgerald, but he's playing Legion of Boom, and I'm gonna actually sit Larry Fitzgerald. I'm kind of nervous for him this week, so I'm definitely gonna sit him.
I'm fine with sitting him. There's other better options. Even on the free agent list, you might find some people. So, like Torrey Smith with Kaepernick, he had 7 targets last week. He had a good game, finally. Torrey Smith, he's very talented. He's very fast. He just needed the right quarterback to get him the ball. Could be Kaepernick. Torrey Smith's a good sleeper. Kenny Britt, people are jumping on that bandwagon because Casey Keenum was John Elway and Joe Montana rolled into one against the Lions last week. I mean, if you need him, he's putting up pretty good numbers this year, so I wouldn't be objected to starting Kenny Britt. Rashard Matthews of Tennessee is a good pickup as well. He's got a touchdown in each of the last 2 weeks. Mariota is definitely connecting with him.
He went nuts last week.
A couple weeks ago, I said drop Golden Tate. He's not playable. Well, last week he became playable again. Feel free to start Golden Tate now. Jim Bob Cooter's found a way to get him the ball. Matthew Stafford's on fire. Golden Tate's looking pretty good again. Odell Beckham, of course. Randall Cobb's a good start this week. He might get some snaps at running back too. Deshaun Jackson, as you mentioned. And don't forget about Stephon Diggs. He's coming back from a groin injury.
Yes.
Watch his status, though. If he's practicing in full, he's a very good start if he's healthy. He's just been not healthy the past few weeks. And I would sit, if you have other options, Antonio Brown.
No,
I don't-
I would never sit Antonio.
Well, I was
Brown.
just going to say, like, it's
No.
not that you can sit him, but
No.
be cautious.
No,
Because Landry Jones is terrible, and
I am
just be
so
cautious.
against. Nope, I'm so against
Be
you.
cautious. If you have other options, make him your number 3 wide receiver this week. If you have 2 better receivers.
Crazy.
Or better options, I mean. Antonio Brown's the best, but Landry Jones is that bad. Tight ends. There's a few guys you can pick up this week if you're in need of a tight end. Hunter Henry is a pretty good option. Charles Clay is getting some looks. Last week wasn't that good, but the week before was. Jack Doyle of Indianapolis might be a real big sleeper this week. He had a good game last week with Allen out. So, and C.J. Fedorowicz of Houston might be, again, a deep sleeper.
Yeah.
So if you're desperate for tight ends, those are some guys that I thought you might want to look at. Who do you got?
So I have Antonio Gates against Atlanta because they're not very good against tight ends, Atlanta.
Michigan native, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Zach Miller, I hate saying this, but my Packers aren't too good against tight ends. They're struggling.
And Sam Shields is out for the year now as well. and
Aaron
safety,
Rodgers, come on, get your life. Gary Barnidge, he's a steady number 2 option against Cincinnati, so who knows? And then
He's had a disappointing year though compared to last year.
yeah, sleeper. Are you guys ready for this one? CJ Uzoma against
Who?
Cleveland. Against Cleveland. He always who?
What?
And then I'm actually gonna sit Kyle
Okay.
Rudolph. I'm gonna sit Kyle Rudolph.
I would not sit Kyle Rudolph.
I would sit Kyle
No.
Rudolph. They're playing Philly and they're really good against tight ends, so I'm sitting Kyle Rudolph.
I still like Rudolph.
To each their
Sam
own.
Bradford's
everyone.
hot. He hasn't thrown an interception all year. I like Rudolph.
I'm gonna start defense.
If you
this
have
week.
nobody better, I would start Rudolph. Go for
Yes,
defense.
I am. I only have 2 this week though because that's all I
Besides
got.
the obvious, Seattle, Denver, who do you got?
Cincinnati and Green Bay.
Oh, Green Bay against Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like Green Bay against Chicago.
You
but
just don't like Green Bay.
I hate Green Bay.
Yeah.
You're a Packer fan.
That's
All right,
all I
some defensive options this week if you need them. By the way, Carolina's on a bye, thank goodness, because if you're still starting their defense, why? Why are you still starting Carolina's defense? The Giants at the Los Angeles Rams, not a bad option. I don't think Case Keesum's going to be, sent down from the heavens again this week. I still don't get what happened last week against the Lions. Cincinnati against Cleveland. I have Buffalo at Miami is a decent start. Baltimore at the Jets is a decent start as well if you need a free agent look.
Yes.
And New England at Pittsburgh.
Ah.
Landry Jones starting a quarter. I mean, this is, yeah. All right, so make sure you comment, give us your questions. We're going to answer them all week. And again, we're at One Eyed Betty's in Ferndale.
Yes, and we
Some good
also,
food here. Good food, good drinks, good place to watch the game, lots of TVs. We're going to show you some pictures in this video. Well, actually, you already saw them at the beginning. But
We also want you to hit us up on our Twitters, which are mine's at Nagsheen, Nagsheen, and then Edward Pevos is
Paparazzo Pevos,
Pretty-
Paparazzo Pevos at Twitter. Or you can just look up my name. So
yeah. So we always answer there. We always respond. And sorry for the late ones. We saw one that was like literally like an hour before the game. Super sorry about that. We're gonna try to fix that and get all your questions answered. So good luck week 7, and let's go Packers.
Oh my gosh, okay, I'm editing that out. But for Nagsheen, I'm Edward Pevos for MLive. We are editing that Go Packers out. Are you kidding me?